With a single post, an influencer can convince thousands of people to buy a product, join a trend, or try other activities that may be risky or dangerous. But who is actually held responsible when that promotion leads to real harm? As someone who regularly uses social media platforms, I am exposed to countless content creators each day, and each creator has an impact on decisions I make or other people make. Whether we follow these influencers or not, their content has an impact on purchasing decisions and behaviors of people around the world. Today, I will be telling you about why influencers should be held accountable for promoting harmful products and dangerous activities. This issue should be important to everyone because the promotion of content creators can affect people's health and well being in very negative ways. So, first, I will explain how influencers have a strong impact on their followers. Then, I will discuss the real harm that comes from careless promotions. Finally, I will show how holding these influencers accountable properly can encourage more ethical behavior amongst the online community. So to understand why influencers should be more responsible for their actions, we need to recognize the amount of influence that these people really have over their followers. So influencers start by building a personal trust with their followers through the content they make. So followers view their influencers as relatable people rather than traditional advertisers that you'd see on commercials on TV. Because of this, followers more trust influencers' opinions on products and lifestyles and various activities. We also commonly know that younger audiences are vulnerable to influencer recommendations. Teenagers and young adults often scroll on their phones through social media, constantly absorbing thoughts and ideas from these creators. And according to an article by the American Psychological Association, adolescents' lives online reflect and impact in their offline lives. So we see that because of the content these kids are seeing online, they behave differently in their real lives. So now that we understand the influence of social media personalities over their followers, we can look at some of the situations that can occur when harmful products or dangerous activities are being promoted. But before we get into the first example, an article by Forbes showed that a survey conducted was conducted and showed that 20% of U.S. adults reported buying a product based on influencer recommendation. So we can see that content creators have an effect on adults as well, more specifically when it comes to buying products online. So with the first product that I want to talk about, it was created in 2022 and it went viral for its originality. It was called Pink Sauce, and it was a vibrant pink condiment used on various different food items. Supposedly it would taste good, and because of how it looked, it went viral. The, the creator claims to have sold over 200,000 units, making a lot of money off of this product. But the product was sold without proper refrigeration. It was being shipped with perishable ingredients inside in unregulated packaging. So when people would consume the product or when it arrived to them, they would get serious illness, and the product even had potential botulism. And for those of you that don't know, botulism, when someone contracts it, it gives them difficulty breathing, muscle paralysis, and it can even lead to death. So there's very, very serious illness that is being promoted essentially in this product. And the creator of this pink sauce product faced no legal repercussions, no fines, no time served in jail, or anything of that sort. So I think it is unfair that someone can sell such a dangerous product and make money off of it at the expense of others. Similarly to this, we see that in multiple live stream incidents on Twitch.com. Live streamers were streaming themselves driving while being on their phone. So distracted driving is an illegal act and should be punished. But the maximum punishment that these live streamers got for promoting this activity was a limited ban from Twitch.com, and nothing more serious than that. And distracted driving can lead to death from crashes. So I think it's unfair that these content creators are not being punished. So with these careless promotions in mind, let's talk about what some people believe about influencers and their promotions. According to an article by Psychology Today, an influencer with 2 million followers promoted t-shirts to her followers, to all 2 million of her followers, and only 36 people bought the shirts. So they use this argument to say that influencers don't really have an impact on what their influencers do, but that's just not true. Um, Followers just all don't want to buy a $50 or $100 t-shirt. But it's much easier for a follower to be influenced by an activity that's free, or a cheap product that they can easily acquire. So, although personal responsibility is important and viewers should absolutely be responsible for themselves, it's important to recognize that the influence from these personalities is what ultimately leads to the decisions of these users. So, next, I want to talk about the accountability and consequences that um, content creators should receive. Holding these influencers accountable would encourage better practices amongst every creator. They would be more cautious of the things they promote and more aware of what they're showing online. It would help brands and influencers become more transparent with their sponsorships, rather than promoting a product with little research about it. We would actually get promotions that we know are safe, and it would just ultimately create a safer experience for everyone online. So, having examined the influence of social media personalities and the problems that may be created from irresponsible promotions and the possible effects of accountability, we can see why this issue deserves greater attention. So, we have discussed influencers and a considerable influence over their followers, and harmful promotions leading to serious consequences, and how holding people accountable for using their influence to promote things irresponsibly can help create a safer and more trustworthy environment. Influencers enjoy the benefits of having large platforms and loyal fans, but that should come with responsibility. So next time you see a product or a trend being promoted, make sure you are aware of how dangerous it could be and do not be afraid to speak up against it.